Raise your hand if you've ever met someone who had a bad attitude. Yeah. Raise your hand if you've had to work with them, live with them. Raise your hand if you're sitting next to them. Don't point. It's really not nice. Don't point. So we've all met these people, yet conversely, we've also met those people who brighten up a room simply by being in it. Madam International Director, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, every single one of us has the opportunity to brighten up a room. Some of us do it when we enter. Some of us do it when we leave. It's our choice. Stanford University did research that determined that 87.5% of our success is a result of our attitude, 12.5% is a result of our skill, knowledge, and ability. 87.5% is a result of our attitude. That's huge. And why I am so passionate and proud to be a Toastmaster is that Toastmasters have what I call the attitude of service. We serve our members, our clubs, areas, districts, divisions, our countries. We know the power of giving to others more than we give to ourselves, and we know that feeling of positivity. In fact, I want to prove it. I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have been a Toastmaster or associated with Toastmasters for 5 years or less? Let's see a show of hands. Lots of hands. Let's reverse that. More than 5 years. Wow, look around the room. Look at all the hands. Keep your hands up. How about 8 years? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, now they're doing math in their head. Look at their face. 22, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. They're dropping like flies. 33, 34, I see one hand here, 35, 36, 37, 38, 38, anyone more than 38? 39, 40, how many years for you?
38.
40, what?
38.
38 years, and he's only 25. That's awesome. Let's give these people a big round of applause. That's awesome. 39 years, wow. In fact, to reward you, everyone here, I would like everyone to stand up, without moaning, that is. Stand up and raise your right hand. Stand up and raise your right hand. I said without moaning. Can you hear me? Okay. Raise your right hand. Raise it a little higher. Actually, just a little higher. Good. I want you to high five the person to your right, left, in front of you, behind you, and say, "You are awesome." Yeah, right. That's international. All right. Great. Let's come on back. That's pretty impressive. I heard some of you say to your partner, "Oh, she's one of those." Yes, I am one of those. Now, one of the problems, I believe, with this whole attitude concept is that in our society, and by society I mean this is regardless of culture or language or country, which attitude is more contagious, positive or negative? Positive, really? Okay, well, in this room, all right, I'll give you that. But outside this room, which attitude is more contagious? Negativity. We've all seen how contagious it is. We wake up in the morning and what do? We turn on the news. Oh, we get sucked into it, right? But the great news is that positive attitude is also contagious. Let me share with you a story to illustrate this. A colleague of mine shared with me this story. She was driving across the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Anybody been there? Let's see a show of hands. Beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. She was approaching a toll booth operator. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, my experience with toll booth operators in the United States of America is that they are very robotic, right? $6, you want a receipt? $6, you want a receipt? They're very robotic. However, let me back up a minute. My husband and I arrived into Malaysia 2 days ago. And we were so excited to arrive that we left the airport without exchanging US dollars into ringgits. Whoopsies! During our drive, we encountered 3 toll booth operators. Toll booth operators here in Malaysia want ringgits, not US dollars. If this had happened in the United States of America, I think I would have been arrested, and the cars behind me surely would have done something newsworthy, if you know what I mean. But these 3 people that we encountered were so kind. One of them let us get by with $3. We offered her 20. She only took 3. The second one let us go by for free. I think I scared her because I kept saying the only word I knew in Malay, tandas, tandas, tandas. I know. I didn't know that it didn't mean thank you. And so she let us go by for free. But the third guy gave us change. It was a wonderful experience. I couldn't believe it. Okay, back to my friend's story. So she's driving across the Golden Gate Bridge, approaching a toll booth operator. She's just expecting the robotic experience, but this is what happened. The man does this. Oh, hi, it's you. Right? I know. And so she kind of starts looking around for a camera. Is there a camera? Am I on a reality TV show? She turns back to him and says, my, you're having a good day. And he says, yes, because every day I get to meet nice people like you. I know. She starts laughing, he starts laughing, they part ways. But let's back up a little bit. See, he chose that attitude. He chose to be positive. And as a result, he enjoyed his job. But look what he did for her. He created a positive attitude for her. What did she do? She drove away, called her husband. You are not going to believe this toll booth guy. But how many other people did he impact positively? Who knows? That is the power of a positive attitude. One kind act by one person can impact multitudes of people. And that's pretty cool, right? All right, good. So let's look at some objectives for our short little session here today. The first thing we're going to do is define what we mean by attitude and determine why you should care about it. Then we're going to learn how to zap your negative attitude. And lastly, we're going to learn how to zap someone else's negative attitude. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. People always want to know, who are you and why are you here? Well, this is the correct spelling of my name. My name is Barbara Khozam. You can call me Barbara Khozam. Telemarketers or telephone salespeople call me Barbara Khozam. She's never home. And people from the Midwest of the United States call me Mrs. Shazam. It doesn't really matter at this point. But I grew up in California, Northern California. I was a small white girl. As you can see, I was quite a tap dancer. Yes, those shoes are spray painted silver because I was a professional. Grew up out of this, went to high school, was a lovely high school boy. I mean, girl. You have to laugh that hard, really? You all have pictures just like it at home. You just don't show people. Now, for me, the unibrow was in during that time, as was the curly perm. Did any of you ever suffer through a curly perm? You're not going to admit that. Oh, you did. All right. And let's not forget the braces. Needless to say, I had self-esteem issues for 2 or 3 decades. Out of high school, went to college, graduated with a degree in chemistry, of all things. For 10 years, I worked as a chemist until I realized I don't like it. Quick learner that I am, I quit. But here's where I was. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in this position. I was good at my job, but I didn't like it. Have you ever been there? I see some head nods. So I quit without having any future job prospects. Don't do that, by the way. 8 lonely, poor months later, though, I became a seminar leader. For 10 years, I traveled all over the world teaching all sorts of seminars until I realized I don't like that either. Quit that. 5 years ago, went out on my own, started my own company. Now I do customer service consulting. I focus on small companies, 12 people, to big ones, 2,000 people. And all I do is create cultures of positive attitude and customer centricity. Pretty cool. Yes, I am also a retired professional beach volleyball, so you might see some moves as we move throughout this session. I did bring my ball. If any of you fall asleep, I will throw it at your face. And I have really bad aim, so you really got to pay attention. Okay. Let's get back to our topic of attitude. A lot of times we start our days like this. We look and feel like this. And then what happens? And that's 10 minutes after you wake up. Okay, so let's try to get out of this cycle. So let's start by defining what we mean by attitude. I love this definition. Attitude is a predisposition to approach or avoid an idea, event, person, or object. A predisposition, a pre-programming to approach or avoid an idea, event, person, or object. Pre-programming. See, let me give you an example. Let's say I have an encounter with someone that doesn't go so well. The next time I see that person, what do I think? Oh, no. Here she comes, and she's going to be mad last time. She was mad at me this time. Then, do you think that affects how I communicate with her? Which affects how she communicates back, which gets negative outcomes. So it's a predisposition. How about this? The first time you ever gave a speech in your life, how did it go? It stunk, right? Well, the next time you have to give a speech, what do you think? Uh-oh, I stunk last time, I'm gonna stink again. That's why Toastmasters exists. Okay, so it's a pre-programming. But let's look a little deeper here. Here's the second part of the puzzle. Attitude is a complex mental state involving beliefs, feelings, values, and dispositions to act in certain ways. And where does this come from? It comes from my parents and your parents, my teachers, your teachers. All of our experiences shape our attitudes. Uh-oh, I see you look scared. You're all frightened. Okay, don't cry, because there's good news. The good news of this concept is that attitudes are learned and therefore can be. You can change your attitude. This is what I want you to get today. Okay, they're learned, it's okay, we can have an attitude, but today we want to learn to change them. So now let's talk about you. Have you ever had a day where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? For some of you it was today, I can tell by your faces. Because it's okay to have a bad attitude, it's okay to have a bad day, but it's not okay to stick with the bad attitude. So I want you to yell out at me some things you can do to change your negative attitude before you begin your day. Yell them out at me. What can you do? Bole, I heard. Good. What else? Have a drink of water. Good. All right. Thank you. What else? Exercise. What else? I heard coffee, AKA drugs. What else? Medication? Is that what? What is it? Oh, meditation. Meditation, that's probably better. Okay. So I heard yoga, I heard listen to music. So here's the thing, is you've got to do what works for you. What works for one person may or may not work for another. Let me give you some of my tips. How about smiling? What do you think about smiling? Is it contagious? Yes. Okay, so check this out. In Hong Kong, we had a layover. And so I was walking through the airport and I was smiling at people. What do most people do? No, look away. They look away, right? But 3 people smiled back. Oh, it was wonderful. So it is contagious. Now, in my work, I do a lot of customer service training, and I get a lot of resistance to smiling. Some people say, you can't make me smile. Or, well, I'm not the smiling type. Or I had one woman that said this, I smile with my eyes. Really? Can you tell your mouth? Because your face doesn't know, okay? So, smiling is a big deal. But I have to share with you something very personal. This is private. I actually have a physical problem with smiling, and I call it GFS, grumpy face syndrome. Oh, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Grumpy face syndrome means that when my face is relaxed, like I'm just sitting there typing on my computer, or I'm walking down the hall to the restroom, I'm not thinking about anything, what does my face look like it's doing? Do you see it? Do you see how the corners of my mouth turn down and I look what? Good, thank you for not saying old. Someone said old last week, they were expelled. I'm just saying, okay. And I know I have this problem because people tell me, have you ever heard this? What's wrong with you today? Mm-hmm. Or how about this? Turn that frown upside down. Yeah. Or I had this happen once in the parking lot of a restaurant. I was walking from my car to the restaurant. This man stopped me and he said, excuse me, miss, you dropped your smile. Really? Seriously? So obviously I look hideous when I'm not smiling. So here's what I have to do. Some of you may have to do it too. Don't do it now. I know you're embarrassed. Go do it in the bathroom later. But let's say I'm going to meet a client and I don't want to scare them with my face. Then what I'll do is this. I'll grab a pen. Any pen usually works. And I'll simply do this. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I didn't put it in my lips, not my lips, I put it in my teeth. And what happens is it forces the corners of my mouth to turn up. But what's cool about this is when I force myself to smile, neurologically, it changes my thought process, and I will think positive thoughts. So let's review. Smiling is no longer optional, it is mandatory. No, it's mandatory. Good. We'll start with that word. Okay. Good. How about another tip that I like to do to change that negative attitude is laugh. What do you think about laughter? It's good. Do you know what's scary? I read a statistic that said that children laugh on average 300 times a day, adults 15. That's depressing, isn't it? Okay, so who would like to share out loud with the rest of us a clean, I said clean joke. Who would like to share a clean joke? Let's see a show of hands. Oh, Dale in the front here. Do we have a mic for Dale in the front? He's holding a mic. What? What? Okay. He wasn't planted or anything. Okay, let's hear your joke, Dale.
This microphone works, I'm happy. This guy's driving along in the countryside in middle America, goes along on his farm road, car breaks down, so he goes to the farmer and he asks for help. He's talking with a farmer, and during the conversation he says to the farmer, you know, when I walked up here, I noticed something really unusual. I noticed this big, beautiful pig you have in your barnyard, and it only has 3 legs. Why does your pig only have 3 legs? And the farmer says, you know, that pig is the most wonderful animal I know. It saved my life once. I fell into the pond when I was fishing one time. Pig jumped in, pulled me out, saved my life. I said, that's nice, but why does a pig only have 3 legs? He says, you know, one time we had a tornado come through here. Power line just about fell on me. That pig came along and saved me from being killed by that power line coming down. Amazing pig. I said, you know, that sounds like really quite a pig, but why does the pig only have 3 legs? And finally, after several more stories, the guy says, you know, a pig that fine, a pig that special, you don't eat him all at once. Thank you.
Dale, really? Is that what we... Oh, my gosh. Okay. didn't research that enough, did I? Yeah. Thank you, Dale. Yeah. We needed a timer. Okay. All right. Okay, moving right along. We got the point on that one. So the next item, I love this one. Be grateful. Be grateful. I had one of my coaching clients tell me, and I love this idea, he has a gratitude journal. And every day he reads it and or writes in it. And it has simple things like, gosh, you know, I'm pretty healthy. And I have 2 arms and 2 legs, and my car turns on most of the time, and my roof only leaks when it rains. So there's a lot of wonderful things in our lives, but we get sucked into negativity. So we have full control over this concept. The key to success is this. You know what works for you, so do what works for you. Like one woman, for example, told me that what changed her negative attitude was spending time with her children. Another woman told me she would not. So just do what works for you. Now, here's what's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna change your attitude, you're gonna have a great attitude, and you're gonna be like, yeah! And you're coming into the Toastmaster convention, and you're having a good hair day, right, Nick? And so come in, and but then you've gotta deal with someone else's bad attitude. You know these people, right? These people who come in here, and what do they say? Oh, I just heard we're going to that accredited speaker thing, and I heard some lady is going to be talking about attitude. She's probably going to tell us we have to smile all the time. That's so stupid. You know these people. So, you know them, right? Well, so what do you say to these people? Do you say, I know it's going to be stupid? Is that what you say? Or what do you say to these people? Smile. Oh, that'll get them. Yeah, good. What else? What else do you say? Goodbye. Good. What else? I heard she wasn't that bad. Wow, thanks. Okay, it's really positive. What else could you say? I heard, see a hand. Enjoy your life. Good. Or what? Bole. All right. So here's my tip. I have 2 tips for dealing with negative people. One is I will completely ignore them as if they didn't say a word. Or secondly, I'm going to fill them with kindness. I'm going to be overly positive. Oh, yeah. So if someone says to me something like, oh, my gosh, I hate my job, I'm going to say, really? I love my job. Yeah. You got to throw in the smile or it doesn't work. Or if someone says, oh, my gosh, I hate this weather. It's so hot outside. I'm going to say, really? I love to sweat. It cleans out my pores. What are they going to do if every time they say something negative, I say something positive? What are they doing? They don't come to me because I'm no fun. And, right? You know this. And you know what they're going to say? This is what they're going to say. Who are you, Miss Happy Pants? Okay, on a side note, in the United States of America, these are pants. Okay, these are pants, okay? So they're going to say, who are you, Miss Happy Pants? And I'm going to say, yes, I am Miss Happy Pants. Why don't you try them on? In fact, I am so passionate about Happy Pants that I actually made Happy Pants buttons. They look like this. They're not that big. They're this size. And I actually have some spares in case you need to give some to your loved ones. But and you know what's cool? And you know what's cool about this button is when I wear this in public, people are nice to me. They let me cut in front of them. I think I get discounts. I'm just saying. Okay. So let's do a quick recap of this topic. First, attitudes are learned and therefore can be changed. Good. To zap your negativity, you will smile, and I heard coffee still, really? Okay. Do whatever works for you. And to zap someone else's negativity, you will ignore them or fill them with kindness. Good. All right. I'm going to end by doing 3 things. I'm going to share with you a story. I'm going to issue you a challenge, and I will end with 2 quotes. Here's my story. Recently, I needed to go to a bank. I don't normally go to a bank. I do everything online normally, but this one transaction required I go to the building. I walked into the building, and I noticed there were 50 people standing in line. Okay, it was really 12, but it seemed like 50. So I had a lot of time to observe the employees working behind the counter. One employee in particular looked angry. So the whole time I was in line, I was saying to myself, I hope I don't get her. I hope I don't get her. Please, not me, not me, not me. Please, not me, not her, not me. I get to the front of the line. What one word comes out of her mouth? Next. Yeah, I was like, oh, shoot. So I started walking toward her with fear, right? I was like, oh, she's gonna yell at me. Then I remembered, wait a minute, that's a negative predisposition. Let me hit the pause button. She's wearing her grumpy pants. I'm wearing my happy pants. Let me try something. So I walked up to her, and she said something like, ATM card and ID. And I said, oh, you are doing such a great job handling all these people. How do you do it? Yeah, so she did this. And then she started going off. I know, it's been so busy. And my boyfriend and I got in a fight, and then I stopped listening because she was going on. But while she was talking, I noticed her nails were beautiful. They had a scene on them. It was like a sunset. And I think the birds on them were actually moving. And so I said to her, oh my gosh, your nails are beautiful. And she said, I know, I just got them done. Oh, my friends, that's an example of zapping negativity. What good would have come of me greeting her with my grumpy pants? No good. Now, does this work on everyone? No, but it's certainly darn fun trying. So, let me issue you a challenge. The next time you encounter someone or something that's difficult, I want you to change your attitude. Hit the pause button, change your attitude, put on your happy pants. Then I want you to smile, for goodness sake. Smile at people. If someone smiles at you, don't look away in fear. And lastly, be nice. It is impossible for someone to be mean to someone who's consistently nice back to them. Let me end with two quotes. I love this one. The positive thinker sees the invisible. They feel the intangible. They achieve the impossible. And if you can't have a positive attitude, then at least be quiet about it. All right? Terima kasih.